Welcome to the Exam Room Podcast, brought to you by the Physicians Committee. Hello, I'm the weight loss champion, Chuck Carroll. Thank you so very much for watching and downloading in more than 150 countries around the world and making the Exam Room one of the most consumed nutrition podcasts anywhere on the planet today. We happen to be in Cleveland, Ohio at the National Health Association Conference. I happen to be sitting across the table from a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show. He's just pretty much it. You the man. Cyrus Khambatta. Welcome back, dude.
That's the best introduction I think I've ever gotten.
I don't know, like, what else I mean, sir, you're just the dude,
You're
man.
Here, let me
dap it up. There we go. All right, we're off to a good start here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
So what's new with you, Cyrus?
all types of stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
It's been a little while since we've been on this podcast, but
no, we'll get into the. We'll talk shop. We'll talk shop. Let's just tease it, but. You and your wife Kylie are here today, and you guys are going to be talking on stage about 7 foods for reducing inflammation and building new mitochondria.
Bingo.
All right, let's talk about them. Let's rattle them off for those who aren't with us here in Cleveland.
Before I rattle them off, can I tell a little backstory as to why this is even important in the first place?
Nerd out, man.
Yeah?
Drop those bombs.
I'm going to drop a little suspense here. Okay.
Do it.
On social media, you've probably seen this. Social media is a pretty darn confusing place these days.
You don't say.
It's like everywhere I go, whether on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, I literally see, quote unquote, health expert after health expert who are not even experts in the first place, telling you that they know how to solve your problems and they know everything there is to know about brain health and heart health and kidney health and liver health and diabetes health and cancer health. And I'm just like, wow. How are there all of a sudden, how is everybody a nutrition pro? It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Right? And it would be one thing if the information was high quality.
Yeah.
But, some of it is, some of it isn't. And a lot of the stuff, I literally look at these and I'm just like, how is this even legal to be talking about this stuff?
Right.
So anyway, long story short, one of the things I've seen over the course of time is that people like to talk this game of mitochondria. And, there's a lot of people who are saying, like, you should take this supplement, you should take this vitamin, you should eat this food. Because it's good for your mitochondria. And I'm like, explain more, please tell me more. But then whenever I go deeper and I try and look for more information, what I've come to realize is that a lot of people don't really know that much about mitochondria, sort of this vague concept. And there's, it's like a good sound bite, but it doesn't.
It's a fancy word. It's a fancy word.
Yeah,
it's like cattywampus. It's a fancy word.
Yeah, people are like, wow, that's fascinating. This guy must be smart, and...
I don't think people say that when they listen to me, dude. No, not. You're smart. You got the PhD behind your name, man. Not me.
Well, that's the thing is like, on social media, anybody can present themselves as being like a pro and an authority figure, which is, again, like, I'm not trying to come down on everybody, but the point is that, like, specifically when it comes to mitochondria, when I was doing my graduate degree at UC Berkeley from like 2007, 2012, I was in the laboratory of a professor who wrote the book on mitochondrial health.
Right.
Yeah, he wrote the book on carbohydrate metabolism, and he's incredibly knowledgeable just as a human. He's like a real life Goodwill Hunting.
Ooh, super nerd.
Yeah, like to the point where, you hand him a book and you're like, hey, can you help me really understand this? And he just like flips through it and he's like, all right, let me tell you what it's about. And then he just rattles it off and you're like, okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? Right? So it was an awesome experience to be able to learn underneath him.
Yeah.
This guy's name's Mark Hellerstein, and like it's just the next level. But I had the opportunity to learn everything there is to know about mitochondrial health. And when I was doing that, I was like, oh my Lord. There's so much information here, and it's so valuable for helping people solve complicated chronic disease, blah, everything.
Yeah.
Right, whether you're talking about brain health disorders or heart health disorders or liver disorders or blood glucose regulation disorder, and the list goes on. So I spent 5 years studying the ins and outs of mitochondrial metabolism, and I got to a point where I was like, this is the most fascinating thing I've learned in a long time.
Right on.
Maybe ever, right? So long story short, the talk that we give is basically about like, how do you actually preserve your existing mitochondria inside of your liver and inside of your muscle in particular, because there's trillions of them. But most importantly, how do you actually make more mitochondria using just your food as a tool?
All right, well, let's dial it back, for our 101 beginners.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about what it actually is yet.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about why this conversation is important, but
Totally.
what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. Okay.
It's fascinating. I was in the labs.
Damn it.
I was with the mitochondrial leader of all leaders. I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, maybe you could tell me.
Yeah, I was really hoping, Chuck. Could you pitch? No. Anyway, what is it?
Okay, so people think of the mitochondria, these things called the powerhouses of the cell. Okay,
Yeah.
so mitochondria are organelles that are inside of every single cell in the human body with the exception of red blood cells. That's the only cell type that doesn't have them. But they are very abundant inside of your liver, inside of your muscle, inside of neurons in your brain, inside of your heart, inside of your liver, inside of your kidney and beyond, okay? So imagine that we're inside of a cell here in this room, all right? So you can see here inside of the cell, there's like many different objects, right? We have, we have chairs over there, we have tables over there, we got a door, we have walls, you name it, right? So a cellular environment is kind of similar in the sense that there's many different organelles, there's many different objects, and they all have like different functions within inside of them, right? So the nucleus is where the supercomputer lives. That's where the DNA exists. And the DNA is the stuff that has the genetic information to be able to replicate the entire thing, okay? And the DNA is the supercomputer that basically tells the cell how to function, right? And the DNA is there, it's active, it's alive. It's not just like some blueprint that sits in the corner. It's alive and it's constantly thinking and making decisions every moment of every day, okay? So as this cell is interacting with its outside environment, if it's in the muscle tissue, as an example, you could be exercising and there could be an influx of oxygen coming from the blood, or there could be an influx of glucose coming from the blood. So the cell has to be able to respond to the stuff that's coming from the outside environment, and it has to be able to respond to the fact that it's getting demands put on it because you're in the middle of exercise, as an example, right? So my point is that the DNA is alive, and it's an organism that is constantly thinking and making decisions every single second of every single minute of every single day from the time that you are alive until the time that you die, okay? Simultaneously, you have this whole population of these things called mitochondria. And there's not just one or two of them. There's literally hundreds to thousands of them. Minimum is about 400 per cell. Maximum is somewhere about 2,500 per cell.
Per cell.
Per cell.
That's
right?
a lot.
So they act as like these little mini batteries. So imagine if you just had a bunch of batteries. There was like a bank of batteries that was all aggregated into one section of the cell. And the responsibility of those mini batteries would be to manufacture this stuff called ATP. ATP, you can think of it as just like, it's electricity for the cell, it's energy. It's the stuff that everything in the cell needs in order to function. The DNA inside of the nucleus needs immense amounts of ATP every single second of every single minute, okay? The ribosomes, the endoplasmic reticulum, all these other structures that are in the cell that have various functions need ATP every single moment of every single day, and the mitochondria are the ones that are responsible for making it, okay? So you can imagine if you're in a cell where you have, let's say, 1,000 copies of mitochondria because you're inside of a muscle tissue and you need to generate tons of ATP in order for this cell to contribute to exercise, okay? If something happens to those mitochondria and all of a sudden you go from having 1,000 copies down to 900 copies, you got a problem. You got a big problem.
Yep.
Okay, it doesn't sound like a big reduction, but you got a huge problem because you have 100 less mitochondria and now you can't produce nearly as much ATP, okay? If you go from 1,000 to 900, you got a problem. You go from 900 down to like 700, 600 all of a sudden, now it's like warning, warning, warning. And what the cell can actually do is it can kill itself, okay?
Like it donks itself off?
Yeah, literally, it commits suicide.
Wow.
Right? And funny enough, the mitochondria are the ones that decide whether or not the cell stays alive or whether it commits suicide.
Wow.
So that's another job that they have as well, okay? But my point is that the mitochondria, they refer to it as the mitochondrial network, is so powerful and so important that it creates the energy for everything in the cell, and it's a living, breathing organism just like the DNA and the nucleus is, okay? So the mitochondrial network can shrink, but it can also grow. And what you and I want is the strongest mitochondrial network inside of this cell and the neighboring cell and the cell next to it, and so on and so forth, times 1,000,000,000,000. You want strong mitochondrial networks inside of every single cell inside of your quadricep muscle. You also want that in your heart.
Right,
You also want that in your brain. You want that in your hippocampus. You want that inside of your thyroid gland, blah, 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 blah. You want that everywhere, right? So it's very important to make sure that the mitochondria per cell is in a happy state, and then that is on a tissue level and whole body level as well. So if we go back to the example of having 1,000 mitochondria inside of one cell, and now you go from 1,000 mitochondria to 1,100 mitochondria, okay? You've just increased the number of mitochondria by 10%. That cell is going to be real happy.
Right on.
It's going to be real happy because now you can produce more energy. You can, the cell is in a much more, higher energy state, and it's going to have more capacity to utilize fuels from the outside, to utilize glucose, to utilize fatty acids, to utilize amino acids. The list goes on. So I was able to spend 5 years, studying the ins and outs of these things. But specifically, the question is, how do you make more mitochondria, right? Because that's a good thing to do.
It sounds that way.
It's a very good thing to do, okay? Now, one other thing that I'm going to add to this too is that I've been studying, the ins and outs of like diabetes for the last, 20 years of my life. And when I built Mastering Diabetes, it was basically to try and teach people how to reverse this process called insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Right. So insulin resistance is like a problem we've talked about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And it's the precursor to pre-diabetes and to type 2, right?
Yep.
So what I came to learn over the course of the last 20 years is that insulin resistance and mitochondrial health are literally a chicken and egg relationship.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So if you don't have solid mitochondrial foundation, that can increase your risk for prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, which can then elevate your blood glucose and set you on a path to a lot of chronic conditions. Okay?
Right.
So mitochondrial dysfunction increases your risk for many chronic diseases, specifically insulin resistance. But insulin resistance itself makes mitochondria less functional. So scientists have discovered, they're like, wait a minute, when you have less of these, you have more insulin resistance. But when you become insulin resistant, it actually is a problem and it causes mitochondrial dysfunction. So it's literally like a two-way chicken and egg relationship, which is like, was this first before that, or was that first before that? And so scientists don't really know the answer. They just know that like the two of them are associated with one another, and that when one of them goes wrong, the other one goes wrong as well. And so really the rather than saying you're the cause and you're the effect, the answer is no. Like, let's help them both at the same time, right? Let's do the things that we know are going to make you less diabetic, that are going to improve insulin resistance. And as a result of doing that, you get stronger mitochondria, you get more mitochondria, and you end up with a much lower risk for diabetes and beyond.
You know what's happening right now?
Talk to me.
Intelligence osmosis. Just being in your presence has made me a smarter individual.
Boom!
Like, you are a super nerd.
Big
like,
time.
and I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Thank you.
But you are a bleeping nerd.
It's ridiculous.
It's great,
It's
dude.
ridiculous.
It's great. Have you had your IQ tested? Like, this is insane.
It's 7.
It's yeah, right. Yeah. And what are the other two numbers? Like, is it like 157?
007. I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, right. All right, James Bond. 007. Come on, man. Nah.
I mean, the reason why I care about this stuff, honestly, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, but the reason why I care about this is because it's like, it's so powerful, right?
Yeah.
And again, the internet has complicated everything. And we've gotten to a point where it's like, even I turn on the internet and I start fishing through some social media, and I literally just like, I put my phone down and I'm like, I don't know what to believe anymore, because there's so many opinions and there's so many reactions to the opinions, to the comments, to the reactions, and I'm just like, this is kind of a quagmire.
You're right.
Right?
Right.
So what I always do is I go back to the science and I'm like, what does the science say? Because the science is the ultimate truth.
Yes.
And what the science has shown over and over and over again is that it's really not that complicated. It's not that complicated to to live a healthy life. It's not that complicated to live with a low risk for chronic conditions, chronic disease.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that hard to put. The principles are very simple.
Yep.
But somehow we as human beings just love to overcomplicate things.
Oh, dude, and in every part of life, we love to complicate things. And before we get into the 7 foods, a predictor here, because you kind of stole my thunder. I was going to go exactly like, it seems complicated, but it's really not. I will bet you that the 7 foods you're going to talk about are all going to be considered healthy by virtually everyone. And so therefore, eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, eat your whole grains. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
It really doesn't.
And all of this complicated science that you're doing a brilliant job of explaining just happens automatically because the body's that daggone smart.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Like you and I don't actually have to sit here and nerd out about all the mitochondria and the cell surface mechanisms that are happening behind the scenes because it's interesting, but it's not required. You don't have to know that in order to actually reduce your risk for chronic conditions.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
You could just eat
Yep.
a particular way, and then all of a sudden, like boom, you're a healthy individual, right?
All right, man.
So,
all right, we've got the plate set for science.
okay, there you go.
All right, the plate is set. Now let's get into these foods
Okay.
for building that mitochondria,
Okay.
getting that inflammation down. Let's talk about them.
Okay.
Numero uno, sir.
Okay. The name of the game are foods that are high in antioxidants, but specifically foods that are high in these things called polyphenols.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably heard of polyphenols before, and I'm sure
Many
your
times.
listeners have heard of them before.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Polyphenols are a class of antioxidants. They are the most abundant antioxidants, and the polyphenols have an ability to talk directly to the mitochondria. Okay, so that's what makes them so badass. Okay, that's what makes them so powerful. Okay, let's just do a little bit more deep diving before we get into the actual foods. Okay, mitochondria, like we talked about, it's where the ATP is produced. They're vital, but the mitochondria themselves can produce these things called free radicals. Okay, free radicals are not your friend. You don't like them, I don't like them, and they can destroy cellular environments, and as a result, they can destroy cells. They can cause tissue damage. They can cause tissue dysfunction and chronic conditions. Okay,
Yeah.
What are free radicals? Here they go. When a mitochondria is cranking out a lot of ATP, they can produce these things called free radicals, which are electronically unstable molecules. Okay, so if we were to like shrink ourselves down into these tiny little microscopic versions of Chuck and Cyrus, and we were to go like wee and like deep dive way inside
I
of
think
us.
there was a movie like that one time.
Yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
Really, right?
yeah, something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we were to deep dive way inside, and we were to like literally sit there inside of a mitochondria and be like, what is going on inside of here? What you would find is that these mitochondria they have this thing called an electron transport chain inside of them. Okay, so it's like a, what do you call that inside of a car manufacturing plant? It's an assembly line.
Yes.
Okay. So you have this assembly line that basically is taking these inputs, it's glucose and it's breaking it down into these tiny little pieces, and then it's putting it through the electron transport chain. It's doing the same thing with fatty acids. It's taking it, it's breaking it down, chop it, taking it, and it's sticking it into the electron transport chain. And the purpose of the electron transport chain is to eventually get to the point where you have the very last piece of the electron transport chain is the ATP factory, is the ATP like production place.
Right,
okay?
right.
But it has to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different complexes in order to get there. And these complexes are not perfect. They're not perfect machines. In the process of doing their thing and taking this thing and passing it over here and taking this thing, passing it over here, they're separating electrons from protons, and they're creating a gradient, and then they're doing this whole thing, and then they spit out some ATP at the end. It's horrendously complex. It's like stupid complex.
Yep.
But in the process of doing that, they end up making mistakes, or they end up generating free radicals, which are molecules that lost an electron. So electrons like to travel in pairs, okay? 2 at a time, okay? So as long as electrons have a partner, everything's good. The world is a happy place. But if you're going through the electron transport chain and all of a sudden you create a molecule that lost an electron, all of a sudden, oh my Lord, that molecule is so angry, like so angry that what it does is it's like, it freaks out and it's like, find me an electron. So what it does is it goes in it and it looks for places in the cell where it can get that electron back. Okay, number 1, the DNA. There's a lot of electron density inside of the DNA. So this free radical all of a sudden goes, okay, boom, and it goes, boom, bombards itself into the DNA, which causes DNA single point, or causes DNA damage.
Yeah.
That can either cause a single strand break or a double strand break, which can cause massive, massive issues. Okay, so that's one place that they can go. Another place that they can go is the cell surface, the cell membrane, because there's a lot of electron density in there as well. So you end up with cell surfaces that have free radicals that are poking holes in it. And then another place they can go is right back into the mitochondria, because the mitochondria themselves have a lot of electrons as well. So they can cause oxidative stress, it can cause lipid stress, it can cause DNA strand breaks. All of this stuff is terrible for the cell. And when this happens, now all of a sudden these free radicals are just trying to get quenched. That's the term, okay? They're trying to find that electron so that they can become electronically neutral again, okay? So if we zoom out and we're like, all right, cool, we don't want these free radicals. They're produced in the mitochondria. They're a byproduct that aren't supposed to be there in the first place, okay? That's where the polyphenols come in, okay? So if you eat foods that have a lot of polyphenols in them, AKA a lot of antioxidants in them, it turns out that the antioxidants are literally like the Mother Teresas of electrons.
They're saints.
They are. They literally come around and they're like, oh my God, I have so many electrons in me, I'm just gonna give them out for free. So they just kind of come into a cell and they're like, oh, look, you need some electrons? Here's some electrons. You need some electrons? Take some electrons. Here's some electrons. Here's some electrons. And so as a result of that, the free radicals who are looking for that lost electron get a supply of electrons from these antioxidants. And what it does is it puts the entire cellular environment into a state of this is the anti-inflammatory effect. Okay, it puts it into an anti-inflammatory state. And as a result of that, these free radicals, they become less problematic because they get what they're looking for. And then they don't have to cause damage in the DNA. They don't have to go to this, they don't cause oxidative stress. They don't go to the, various parts of the cell where they can bombard themselves into proteins and lipids and DNA and cause issues, okay? So the simplest way to think about this, okay, and I'll stop talking here in a second, is that foods that contain a lot of polyphenols have a lot of electrons. So when you think about eating polyphenol-rich foods, I literally want you to visualize that you're just eating electrons. You're eating electron-dense foods, and as a result of that, these electron-dense compounds can go in and they can just donate electrons, and as a result of that, the free radicals go, they calm down. They don't cause the cellular damage that causes the inflammatory state, and as a result of that, the cell is in a happier place, the mitochondria are in a happier place, and the world is a much better place. Am I making any sense at all?
That is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life, dude. You have just explained what inflammation is. I have asked every doctor who has come on, well, not every doctor, but like to explain inflammation and what that actually is.
Oh, cool.
Nobody has come close to delivering that answer. That was epically thorough.
Wow.
And entertaining and made sense. Like, I wish you taught science to me back in the day. There are a few people who come on the show, I've told that to. It's like, I wish that you would have taught science. You made it cool and understandable.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Well played, sir.
Okay.
Well played.
Thank you for saying that, actually, because what I find is that when people understand the super nerd biology,
yeah,
then it all starts to make sense. And they're like, oh, I'm not just going to go eat these 7 foods because some dude on the internet who I don't really understand told me to eat them. Yeah. It's like, oh no, I understand. It's the free radicals. The free radicals need to be quenched. They need to be extinguished. They need the electrons. How am I going to get the electrons? The polyphenols. The polyphenols are the antioxidants. I should just go eat these foods. And then it just sinks in, and then they're more likely to do it, and then they're more likely to remember it, and then repeat that process over the course of time.
Giddy up. All right, polyphenol-rich foods. I'm assuming you got 7 big ones.
There's actually more than 7, but let's just start with 7.
7.
Okay,
7.
So the foods, the number 1 most powerful polyphenol-rich food on the planet, maybe not the number 1, but one of them is turmeric.
We've heard about that one. That's big.
Okay, turmeric's a big deal. Everybody loves turmeric. People are like, oh, cool, sweet. I want ground turmeric. I want turmeric ground. I want turmeric that's whole, that I can use in my cooking. Awesome, that would be great. Number 2, I can get ground turmeric at the grocery store. Number 3, I can get foods that already have turmeric inside of them, and that's a good thing, right?
Yep.
Now, you've probably heard from, many different sources that if you take turmeric and you mix it with black pepper, that the black pepper makes the turmeric stronger and more effective.
I have heard that many times.
That's awesome. Do it.
Look at it.
It's great.
Turmeric supplement. A lot of them have the black pepper in there because of the capsaicin, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly right. And so as a result of that, the combination of the two of these guys, the black pepper makes the turmeric stronger, more bioavailable, more effective, and as a result of that, it increases its anti-inflammatory power.
Yep.
Great. Let's do that. Okay.
Cool.
So turmeric is number one. Number two, the Indian gooseberry, amla berries.
You mention it every time you come on the show. You love you some amla.
I love me some amla.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one most powerful antioxidant food in the world. Nobody knows this. Okay. Number one most powerful anti-inflammatory food in the world. Number one most powerful cholesterol reducing food in the world. One of the most powerful blood pressure reducing foods, one of the most powerful blood glucose reducing foods. It's literally like there's nothing that this food can't do. It's crazy. Okay.
That's the original superfood right there.
It really is.
Yeah.
And yet somehow it hasn't become like trendy and super popular online yet. And I don't know, maybe one day it will.
Let's get the hashtag trend, man. Let's get that trending, man.
Could you do it for me,
Amla
please?
berry, number one. Tweet worldwide.
That's all I need to do.
Who uses Twitter anymore anyway, man? I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever. Anyway,
Okay,
I
so
digress.
we got turmeric.
Yeah.
We got amla berries.
Yeah.
Okay, now in addition to that, we also have soybeans. Who knew? Soybeans contain this stuff called genistein.
Genistein.
Genistein is the polyphenol that's present inside of soybeans. So if you get the soybeans from edamame, awesome. You get it from tofu, awesome. You get it from tempeh, awesome. I don't care. Put soybeans in your food. Now there's a lot of hoopla about soybeans, there's a lot of controversy. Oh, you're gonna grow man boobs and it's gonna increase your risk for prostate cancer and breast cancer. That stuff is patently false. It's been disproven so many times, but yet people still like to tell that story, okay? Long story short, soybeans are your friend.
Because of the genistein.
Because of the genistein. Genistein is very powerful at promoting an anti-inflammatory state. And genistein is the polyphenol that can go talk to the mitochondria, that can quench the free radicals, that can make you a happier person. Boom.
You want a song stuck in your head?
Yeah, do it.
Song by the Gin Blossoms? Hey, Genistein? Thank you.
That is one of the best things I've heard in a long time. Hey, genistein. I know exactly the song you're talking about. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Good luck getting that out of your
That
head,
was a
man.
real belly laugh
Yeah.
right there.
Good luck getting that out of your head. It popped in there as soon as you said it. I was like, oh, my damn. Yeah. All right.
Brilliant.
All right. So
Okay.
that brings us to number 4.
Number 4. You
Yeah.
ready for this one?
Yeah.
Cacao beans.
Bring it on.
Okay, cacao beans, AKA, you can either think of them as like dark chocolate, fine, go eat that. You want the cacao nibs? Awesome. You want the cacao powder? Awesome. I don't care what it is, but eat cacao as much as possible inside of the foods, inside of the meals that you're preparing for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And if you find, snacks that already have the cacao bean in them, then awesome. Just try and keep it as clean as possible without added sugar, without added refined, processed ingredients as well. That'd be great. Okay.
Cool.
Now, I did not know this, but if you go back to the super nerd science, okay, there's this thing called the ORAC scale, ORAC, Oxygen Radical Absorbance Capacity Scale. Who the hell cares? The reason why we talk about it in the first place is because you can think of every food as having an ORAC value, okay? And then you can rank order foods based off of their ORAC value, okay?
All right.
Foods that have a higher ORAC value are better for you and have more anti-inflammatory power than foods that are lower, okay? So if you look at the goji berry, okay, you remember back in the day when everyone was like, oh, goji berries are awesome, we should go get them in
It was a
food.
thing for a while.
It was.
Big time
It
thing.
was like one of the original anti-inflammatory trends.
Yeah.
It was like early 2000s and everybody was like, dude, where do I get the goji berries? And then you go to the store and you're like, awesome, $17 a pound for goji berries? Right? If you look at it on the ORAC scale, they have an ORAC value of 3,000. And you're like, all right, that sounds like a big number. I don't know, is that good? Is that not good? Okay. Goji berries are 3,000. Blueberries are at a 9,000. And that's part of the reason why everybody wants to go eat blueberries. That's awesome. Guess what cacao is at?
30,000.
More, 55,000.
55.
Yep, 55,000, which means that it's like, what is that, 55 divided by 3? It's 17 times more powerful, 18 times more powerful than a goji berry for the same weight of food.
Nice.
Okay, that's a big deal, okay? So that's a good one to put in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at 4.
Yep.
Number 5, acai berries.
There it is.
Boom. If you're not an acai nut like I am, then maybe you should become one, because acai bowls, acai smoothies, great, go get it. It's very easy to get. Frozen section in the grocery store. You can get these like packs. You can stick them into a smoothie. You can blend it together. You get a ton of acai. It's good for you. It's very good for you. ORAC value, 102,000.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a big number. That's a real big number.
That's a real big number. Now, turmeric, like we talked about earlier, has an ORAC value of 127,000, which is awesome, because you're like, oh, okay, now we're getting into the hundreds of thousands in this ORAC value, okay? And the amla berry, which we talked about as well, has an ORAC value of 261,500.
Go for it.
Okay, so it's like in a league of its own.
Yeah.
Okay, so things that rank high on this ORAC scale are things that have a lot of anti-inflammatory power, that have a lot of antioxidants inside of them, and these are all foods that are going to make your mitochondria in your muscle, in your liver, in your brain very happy.
We should figure out a way to make the ORAC scale like as fun as the Scoville scale. You know about the Scoville scale?
The Scoville scale is so good. Yeah.
It's, oh man, yeah. That's for hot sauces and things like that. How hot is this particular sauce? How hot is this particular pepper? They can get up there.
Right.
They can get up there.
Yeah, I love the Scoville scale because it's completely non-linear, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, how hot is a jalapeno? And you're like, boom, it's got this Scoville scale.
Yep.
Right. It ranks here. Yep. And you're like, how hot is the habanero? And it's like, it's not just like a little bit hotter. It's like way up here.
Yep.
And you're like, oh wow, that's why when I eat a habanero pepper, I want to either throw up or I have to drink like a gallon of water just to like keep my tongue happy, right?
So would you say amla is kind of like the ghost pepper equivalent? Because like the ghost pepper's got to be like at the tippy top of the Scoville.
Yeah, right. You got the like Carolina Reaper, then you got the ghost pepper at the top.
Yeah, dude, those are the ones.
Yeah.
Is the Carolina Reaper hotter?
I think the Carolina, I could be wrong, but I think the Carolina Reaper is slightly hotter than the ghost pepper.
It could be. That's the pepper from the One Chip Challenge, right?
I think so, yes, exactly right.
You would never catch me doing that.
No.
Just, well, one, it's a chip, but two, like, why?
Yeah, you got to have a death wish.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. And then, you know what's hotter than the Carolina Reaper or the ghost pepper?
In it comes. Here come the hot steppers.
Here comes the hot stepper. It's pepper spray. Literally like the stuff that the police use.
What?
Yeah, that's like the next hottest version of, that's the next highest thing on the Scoville scale. Okay, but like my point here is that what you're bringing up here is the ORAC scale.
Yeah.
Is the like anti-inflammatory analog to the Scoville scale.
Yeah.
You can think of them the same way for sure, 100%.
Right on.
Yep.
Dig it. See, that's what makes it. It's fun, dude. That's
100%.
5. We're going for 7.
Yeah. So what do we got? So we got turmeric,
5
amla berries.
Got it. Cacao.
Cacao. No, we said soybeans.
Soybeans.
Genesine. Then we got cacao.
All right.
Okay. Then we got cacao, and then we got acai berries.
All right.
Okay, so that's good there. Okay, now we can go so many different ways. There's stuff called resveratrol. Resveratrol is the polyphenol that comes from red grapes. Okay, that's awesome.
Actually, I'm proud of myself. I actually knew that one.
You knew that one.
I did.
Love it.
I did.
Okay, the skin of red grapes is really powerful. Okay, but the one problem with resveratrol, resveratrol is awesome and it's very, very powerful at reducing insulin resistance, at reducing blood glucose, at reducing it can reduce cholesterol as well. Awesome, we love that. But here's the problem. The number of red grapes that you have to eat in order to get enough resveratrol is stupid. It's like a barrel full on a daily basis. So it's like, it's not practical. Nobody is gonna go eat a ton of red grapes or drink, what is it, like 200 bottles of red wine in
Oh,
order
so
to get
I was wondering how many bottles, because I figured that's where the conversation was going to go. It's like, well, yeah, it's red wine. It's
It's
got
a
to be
lot.
healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you're an alcoholic and you're like, oh, cool, this is a green light for me to go drink a bunch of red wine. Good luck. You're still not going to get enough. Okay? So what I recommend for this one is to go get a resveratrol supplement from the grocery store or from, you know, your natural health food store. And you, by doing that, they have specifically formulated resveratrol supplements that give you enough so that you don't have to go eat a stupid amount of red grapes. Okay? So for me to say, okay, the red grape is the food, awesome, but just go get the supplement. That's we're gonna put that as like number 6 on the foods to eat. Okay.
Right.
Then beets.
You're growing beets?
Beets. No, I'm not growing beets. I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I was like, I was just talking to Kylie. I didn't hear about the beet. I was like, I heard about all the trees. It's like beets. But yeah, all right, cool.
But maybe we
Beets.
should. Okay.
Not a bad idea.
Now, here's why beets. Okay. Beets don't actually have a very high polyphenol content. So I'm going to contradict myself here for a second.
All right.
People are going to be like, oh God, what is this dude talking about, right? Beets, the reason why you want to eat them is because beets are nitrate rich. You've probably heard of nitrate rich vegetables
Yes,
from
sir.
like, you know, many different sources. But a lot of people eat beets because they lower blood pressure. A lot of people eat beets because it improves their exercise performance, which is a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of athletes that know that when you have beets, like a beet juice or a beet smoothie, about an hour before you go run a 5K or an hour before you get on your Peloton, well, guess what? You're going to perform better. You're going to actually perform, you know, run a 5K a little bit quicker, just like you'll shave off a couple of seconds from your time. You'll be able to get on that Peloton and you'll be able to push harder and faster in ways that you didn't think were possible. And the reason for that is because you're actually cranking out more ATP inside of the mitochondria, inside of the muscle tissue.
Right.
Okay, but it's not because of the polyphenol content in the beets. It's because of the nitrates. The nitrates do a whole bunch of crazy stuff inside of your mouth and inside of your digestive system and inside of your blood, but they serve as the precursor to this stuff called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that's made by the cells inside that line your blood vessel, the endothelium. And when they make nitric oxide, blood vessels go and they get larger, and that means that they can actually relax, which lowers your blood pressure, which is a good thing. And as a result of relaxing, that means that red blood cells can get inside of your blood, that are already inside of your blood vessels, can actually just deliver more oxygen to the muscle tissue when you're exercising. That's awesome. But here's the kicker. The nitric oxide that your blood vessels are manufacturing, the nitric oxide can go talk to the mitochondria as well.
There it is.
So they have direct crosstalk with mitochondria. And very few people actually know this. But when nitric oxide is present inside of blood vessels and it goes and it talks to the mitochondria in neighboring cells, the mitochondria are like, oh, where have you been? I love you, nitric oxide. Thank you so much. It helps promote mitochondrial biogenesis, aka it manufactures more mitochondria, and it puts them into an anti-inflammatory state as well. So it's the perfect, you know, full picture.
That's all good, man. And so it kind of makes me think here. If you eat these 7 foods, you bring your inflammation down, get some good mitochondria production going. Like, you know, get an extra trip or 2 around the sun, right? You're taking care of yourself. There's never any guarantees.
Correct.
But you know, am I making you tired?
No.
I see you yawning.
I'm yawning because I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning.
I
to go
know
to the gym.
you and Maxim Seguin from Fit Vegan Coaching went out and like chased some hoop dreams early this morning,
Yeah,
man.
he was like, we're leaving at 5:20 in the morning, and I was
Yeah.
like, dude, it's a Friday. What is wrong with you? But I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I know. Like you were a sick son of a gun.
But you also trained with him the day before, right?
I did, but not at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was
what?
like, that's just not happening.
6 o'clock in the morning.
8.
Yeah.
And that was tough for him. But 8 was tough for me. I was like, it's like my alarm goes off at 7:45. I was like, whatever. But anyway, so you do all these things and you eat these foods. A few more trips around the sun brings longevity into the equation.
Agreed.
One of my favorite animals on the face of the earth is the tortoise. And rumor has it that there might be a tortoise possibly coming to your house?
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my God, he talked to Kylie about tortoises.
There may be, I mean, I can't confirm or deny that happened. You have a suspicion. I would say trust your gut. But when it comes to tortoises, they're pretty cool. I'm just saying.
I love how we're talking about mitochondria and you somehow found a way to weave the tortoise into the conversation.
Longevity, baby. Because they live a long time, dude.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. So actually, okay, one of the things that I love about Kylie is that she loves to just give. She's always giving. She's giving to me. She's giving to Indigo. She wants nothing more than to have a legit farm on our property.
Yeah.
Right? We already have 2 cats who I am totally in love with. I love these things. Mew and Blue. They're 2 of the cutest cats I've ever met before.
Awesome.
Okay, so we got Mew, then we got Blue, and then we adopted a dog named Allie. She's this tiny little corgi.
I heard about that.
And she's hilarious and she's awesome.
Lovely story.
Now Kylie is trying to adopt another cat that happens to be coming around our property that doesn't seem to have a home. We've called him Barry.
All right.
And so now we might have a 4th member of our animal kingdom.
All right.
But then in addition to that, she's like, hey, do you want to see this tortoise video? And I'm like, sure. And so she shows me video after video after video. There's this woman who adopted these tortoises and she's showing them on Facebook and she puts little hats on them and she's feeding them lettuce and they're cute, don't get me wrong. But part of the reason why I don't necessarily want a tortoise is because that's like a 75-year commitment.
I understand.
You know? And that'd be cool, but I don't necessarily need another living creature that I have to provide food and stuff for. But maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way.
Indy is what, 3? I mean, you can pass it down. Come on, man.
Is she gonna go to college with a tortoise?
Why not?
That'd be awesome.
Bro,
Yeah.
University of Maryland, okay, right in my backyard in DMV, the terrapins, okay?
What is a terrapin? I don't even know.
It's a turtle.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fear the turtle.
So does that mean that when she goes to college, she can be like, oh, hey, I'm bringing my tortoise into this dorm room and now I'm just gonna...
You don't even have to ask. You just do it. What are they going to say?
I don't
It's
know.
a tortoise. Everybody loves a good turtle. Why? I mean, come on, dude. And it eats a plant-based diet, dude.
I know.
It's the beautiful thing.
That's exactly right. It's our
Yeah.
composter.
Get the turtle.
All right.
And how long have you been married?
Is that a pop? That's a 2017, 8 years.
Okay, right. All right. Let's get you to your 10th anniversary.
Okay.
Get the tortoise.
Oh, for our anniversary, we should give her a tortoise.
No, I'm saying stay married. Happy wife, happy life.
Right. Okay.
All right?
Okay. Deep Thoughts by Chuck.
Look, I don't have a PhD. I'm just telling you the way that I see it. I'm prognosticating a tortoise in your future.
Okay.
Needs to happen.
Okay. You're trying to manifest this for us. Listen, I'm open-minded. I'm just saying I don't want a pet that's going to outlive me and live for another 75 years. But it's cool. Maybe I should just change the way I think this.
You should. You're looking at it like that. But think about all the good things that come with
Yeah,
that.
maybe it's a good point.
You're going to grow some produce, right? So that's not going to be an investment. You can just feed what you grow on your property. I don't know why we're talking about this on the show, and it's been going on for entirely too long. I'm going to stop talking about the tortoise now. I've done my part. I tried. Thank you, Kylie. I tried. I mean, seriously, I gave you 5 good minutes on tortoise time, and I'm sure that our viewership has just tanked right now.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the 7 foods.
For sure.
This has been Turtle Talk. Thanks for
sure.
tuning in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Conversations that I didn't think I was going to have today.
No,
Right.
I have a sneaking. I'm honestly scared to stop the show now for fear of what you're going to do to me.
Don't worry, I got nothing but love for you, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you, Cyrus Khambatta. Oh, Evolution Health, man. What's up, bro?
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Real talk.
Okay. As you know, I used to be with Mastering Diabetes. I helped grow Mastering Diabetes for the last 8 years or so.
Yeah.
Okay. So I resigned from Mastering Diabetes last year at the end of 2024. And as a result of that, Kylie and I have now joined forces and we created a new company. It's called Evolution Health.
Yeah.
And the idea here is that, okay, great, we can help, we've proven over and over and over again that we can help people get out of this thing called prediabetes and type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
And get it off their medical record and be done with it, right?
Yeah.
People will, with type 1 diabetes like myself or type 1.5 can go from having really crazy, wonky blood glucose control to nice and flat.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, their risk for chronic disease goes way down because the statistics on people with type 1, or I should say any flavor of diabetes, are grim. Kidney failure, liver dysfunction, blindness, neuropathy, and the list goes on. It's terrible, okay? So we know that we can solve many problems within the diabetes world. Awesome. But in addition to that, we've seen so many people come through our program that lower their cholesterol significantly, that lower their blood pressure significantly. We teach people how to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of their life.
Yeah, man.
We teach people how to to go from stage 3 chronic kidney disease to stage 2 to stage 1 to stage 0 to not having it anymore. So Evolution Health is a program. It's a way of eating. It's an anti-inflammatory whole food diet that is so powerful at helping people get out of not only the diabetes pathology, but also the heart disease pathology, and also losing weight, and also living many more years on this planet. But not just adding time, but actually adding healthful years so they can get older, they can grow, they can play with their grandkids into old age. And now that I got a kid, I'm 44 years old, and I totally understand why so many people are like, I just want to play with my kids.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like I told Indigo from a young age, I'm like, girl, you are not going to outrun me. Right? Until you're like 18 years old. You can try, but daddy goes to the gym every single day and I pound the weights hard because I want to be able to make sure that like that girl is like, not only do I want to play with her, but like she has some competition here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's going to have to try real hard to move faster than daddy. So long story short, like we created a coaching program that is like very powerful to helping people achieve so many different aspects of, you know, their overall metabolic health. And it's going great, and we got a lot of success stories already, and I can't wait to grow this thing bigger, better, stronger into the future.
You excited to branch out like professionally? I would think like because you created such a powerful brand for so long that was attached to one illness, and now you're able to treat, well, work with people who, you know, have it's a whole spectrum now.
It is, and the reason for that, actually, truth be told, from a scientific perspective, is because the name of the game is inflammation.
Yeah.
Right? So when you get to the root of inflammation, it's like this, it's the central, it's the hub that then, boom, unlocks so many different avenues. And so as a result of that, we've seen that if we can just go directly to the inflammation source and figure out why is the inflammation happening in the first place, what is it about the way that you're eating, the way that you're sleeping, the alcohol that you may or may not be drinking, the foods that you're consuming, let's target that stuff and then turn you into an anti-inflammatory powerhouse. And then when that happens, boom, all of a sudden it's like the dominoes just start falling.
That's dope.
It's great. It's so fun to watch. And honestly, it never gets old. It never gets old.
That's dope. Dude, I would love to bring you back at some point and talk about the inflammatory response that the body has to stress, right? We talk about like the foods that we eat. You're just talking about alcohol, all, you know, things that we put into our system.
Yeah.
Stress is very powerful, as I've learned over the last couple of years.
Oh yeah, personally, you've learned that a lot.
Yes, very much
100%.
so. And it's like,
yeah, let's go into detail about that.
Yeah, let's nerd out again in the future pretty soon.
For sure.
That'd be dope.
Cortisol is the ultimate trump card that, man, you could be doing everything right, and then all of a sudden your stress levels go up, and if you get into this fight or flight mechanism, which you know inherently yourself, and you stay there for a long period of time,
I'm stuck, brother. Yeah.
All of a sudden your whole world can explode in front of you. So let's talk about it for sure.
Dope. Awesome. Evolution Health, that's good stuff.
That's right.
I'm gonna go on your wife's podcast as well. So
I'm great. Well,
let's have some fun, dude.
Absolutely.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
You're the man. Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate you.